There are lots of instances where a relationship has a false end or temporary separation. For this reason, I spent a lot of time trying to recognize the signs that a relationship is actually ending. Here are the indicators that it's really done. 1. No anger. Emotion, of course, has the effect of changing the way we see the world, how we feel, and what we think, but only for a time. Most false ends to a relationship are going to be the consequence of an impulsive decision based on a fleeting emotion. We're not operating within our baseline state at these times. Thus, any choice we make while under these conditions is unlikely to be reflective of how we actually feel. Conversely, if we make the decision in a cool state of mind, then it's likely to stick. This is especially true since relationships have at their core an emotional connection. If you're able to separate from a partner in a way that is unemotional or only slightly emotional, that suggests the love really is gone. 2. Logical reason. Going through a breakup, even when you're the one to initiate it, can be one of the hardest things you'll ever do. But, like with any other undertaking in life, having a firm reason for doing it makes all the difference. A person enduring all the hardship of trying to lose 20 pounds, earn a university degree, or make X amount of money in a year is only able to steel their resolve when they really believe in what they're doing. A person trying to make their way through the emotional slog of separating from someone they have feelings for is going to, similarly, need a logical foundation to bolster their determination. Serious relationships tend to only end for serious reasons. There are many false ends that might occur in response to some petty argument, but for the separation to become permanent, there has to be a solid reason why. After the clouds of emotion dissipate, and we can think clearly again, if the reason for our decision wasn't really valid, we'll come to our better senses and regret it. Likewise, when you inevitably miss them, you need a strong rationalization to keep you from acting on that longing. 3. Repeated attempt. Again, breaking up is hard. Our brains make sure it is by loading us up with heaping helpings of stress hormone as soon as we start to miss that person. It's not a surprise, then, that most of the time the first attempt fails. If it's a real deal relationship, a breakup is likely something that occurs as a continuum, with many months or years of wanting it more and more, and with numerous repeat attempts and false ends before the separation finally happens for good. It's hard to find a love story out there that didn't have at least one attempt at separation or a very close call. But love binds us together so that even when we try to leave, it works to pull us back in. If it's really not meant to be, chances are it's going to take a few tries to reach a final end. For instance, 4. Mutual decision. There's an interesting power dynamic at play that occurs in a lot of relationships. People don't like feeling like they have no control over a situation. Sometimes the party who didn't initiate the breakup feels worse than they otherwise would, simply because they didn't have a say in how things ended. This will put them into an emotional frenzy, and they'll do whatever they can to get the other person back, even if that doesn't align with their true wants. A mutual decision avoids this. It also tends to be the sort of thing that follows a dispassionate discussion backed by a solid reason. So all of that together makes finality quite likely. When both parties don't agree on ending things, that means that one of them is probably going to become highly motivated to reunite. More motivated than they even were when the relationship was active. This changes the prevailing dynamic some, and makes getting back together much more likely. 5. The feeling. This is a bit abstract, but it's one of the more powerful indicators. People in deep relationships tend to undergo a bit of a mind meld. If y'all have broken up, and you're sitting there thinking about them all the time, and it's getting harder and harder to resist not reaching out, they're probably going through something of the same. If you search your own feelings, and it feels like the love is still alive, and there's a strong aching for them, then chances are they're feeling it too. If, on the other hand, you're surprised by how well you're feeling without them, and there's a lightness about you that you didn't anticipate, then you can expect that to be reciprocated too. This isn't always the case, and it can be upset by certain other factors. such as who initiated the breakup. But you were in the relationship together, so if you felt similarly for each other, your feelings will serve as an insight into theirs. If the love is still burning strong for you, you can bet it's probably burning just as intensely in them. Conclusion. In an ideal world, relationships would never end because we'd all find our perfect match on the first try, and that would be that. Unfortunately, the reality couldn't be farther from this ideal. Love is as complicated and difficult to navigate as it is beautiful. Thus, many of us have had to go through the process of detaching from someone we deeply care about, often more than once. The pain that comes with this affects us on a deep level. We become afraid of getting hurt again and change our behavior, often for the worse, in an attempt to protect ourselves going forward. Thanks for watching.